Still with the double mics. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. First off, congratulations to Dennis Gates on the first win yesterday. Exciting for us. Awesome student section. Really appreciate the fan support coming out for our athletic teams. It really makes our recruiting easier. It makes our game day better, and just a tribute to our student section, and appreciate them being there. Also, congratulations to Robin Pinchton and the women's basketball team for a big win over Missouri State. Always great for both of those teams to be 1-0. So excited about what they're embarking on. Also want to acknowledge that today is Election Day. I want to encourage everyone to exercise their freedom to do that, to use their right to vote. I pray for wisdom on the people that will be elected and for the people that are elected, and that we can find solutions and not just rhetoric for these country's problems. A lot of people have made a lot of sacrifices over the course of our country's history for us to have the freedoms to vote, and I sure hope and pray that people will take that, not take that freedom for granted. New task and a great challenge this week. Obviously, we're playing a top 5 team on the road who's playing at a really high level. Their quarterback is playing at a Heisman level, Heisman Trophy level. They've got unbelievable skill players. Obviously, some of their wide receivers, all 3 of their wide receivers are extremely electric. Jalen Hyatt might be the best wide receiver in the country. Obviously, Cedric Tillman is a really good player also. Jabari Small at running back and Jalen Wright at running back are both very dynamic. Their offensive line presents problems. They have a dynamic scheme. Between Coach Heupel and Coach Golish, they do a tremendous job of putting their players in a position to be successful. Defensively, they do a tremendous job of playing fast. They are very experienced. When you look at the depth chart, just in the defensive line, senior, backup's a senior, junior, backup's a redshirt senior, redshirt junior, backup's a senior, redshirt senior, backed up by a junior. Both linebackers, redshirt seniors, backed up by redshirt seniors. So very experienced. 2 safeties, seniors. So we've played against both of those guys since I've been here. And then obviously the corners are juniors, redshirt juniors. So a lot of experience, a lot of speed. They play very physical. They're downhill. And so it's going to be a real challenge for our football team. And we're excited about that challenge, excited about going on the road and matching up against a really good Tennessee Volunteer football team. I know I'm going to be asked about the penalties, and I did receive a response for the SEC, and I'll tell you, the response says it's going to have no bearing on the outcome or this next game, and so that's what I'm going with. That's not really what the response was, but that's what I'm telling you the response is. It doesn't change the outcome, and so it's really not anything worth discussing in my opinion. It can only cost me money, and so it doesn't have any effect on this next game, and it doesn't change the result. So with that being said, I'll open up for questions.
Eli, when you look at what Josh does on offense, what Tennessee does on offense,
Yep.
what separates that from, kind of the typical spread offense?
They attack, they use all 53 1/3 yards wide spacing to create one-on-one matchups. They have very good vertical speed, and so that puts your defensive players in a bad position. Do they play tight and press and give themselves vertical shots, or do you play deep and they throw it underneath and you have to come up and make tackles? So it's a challenging scheme combined with challenging players, and that's when it's really at its best. Obviously Josh has experience, had experience here, and that scheme was at its best here when they had dynamic quarterback too. So it's a combination of really good coaching and really good players.
Coach, obviously Neyland Stadium is such a tough place to play. I know you guys played on the road at Auburn and Florida this year. So what do you feel like your team has learned from those road games? Is there anything you'd like to see them maybe change at a big stadium like that?
Well, I don't know if there's anything that we necessarily have to change. We just have to continue to improve. Obviously, yes, we've played at some really good road environments. Kansas State was really loud, and Auburn, like you said, Florida, South Carolina's an incredible place to play and has really good noise. But this one will probably be the most challenging we've had. A combination of number of fans, obviously, and they're playing really well, so support there. We've got to do a better job offensively of not having false start penalties. Those have been things that have shown up in maintaining composure, and I would say that's probably the number one thing.
Coach, I know in the past you use like results against a certain team from the season before to motivate the guys for a game or for a game. Has there been anything like that this week with the Tennessee from last year?
There hasn't been any conversation. That was last year's team. This year's a brand new season, brand new year, and I think you will all watch the game and see what they did to attack us. But that's not the motivational cry. The motivational cry is for us to be the best version of ourselves that we can be, and we got to continue to improve based off of last week's performance more than anything.
I know Tennessee has the reputation, obviously, as a really good passing team, but obviously the run game you guys saw firsthand. How are they in that phase this year?
Yeah, they're really good running the football. Obviously, they have a quarterback who has the ability to run combined with a running back. And again, if you decide to spread out to match their spacing, then you've created vertical seams in the run game, and they do a really nice job of exploiting those. And like I said, they have some really good running backs, and obviously Hendon himself is a really good dynamic runner, and they utilize both some insert schemes but also some zone read schemes to give the quarterback the freedom to pull it. And again, if you're playing a single high defense, your quarterback player's in the middle of the field, which is a long way for him to go to make tackles. And if you're in a zero scheme, they're going to throw the ball by you. So.
Eli, did you learn anything from last year's game against Tennessee that you can apply now?
Whole list of things. I'm not sharing them with you. Maybe after the game. But, yeah, there's a whole list of things that you look back on and you say, okay, I have to do this a lot better on both sides of the ball. And obviously I think we've attacked that on one side of the ball and have made a lot of improvements in that case.
Were there any common issues on the third down struggles Saturday for your offense?
Yeah, there's a lot of issues. Yeah, a lot of combinations of design, protection, and execution.
Easily fixable in a week, or is it just kind of things that have popped up at other times this year too?
I mean, the hope is that everything's fixable. The hope is that everybody attacks it. And I think the growth that I've seen in our team is there's a maturity of owning the responsibility of everybody fixing it. And it starts with design, which is me. I've got to do a better job of designing third downs that give us an opportunity to be successful. And we know as an offense when we're good, previous week, we were executing on third downs. And so from top to bottom, we've got to do a better job. And it's, the beauty of offense and the struggle of offense is that 11 have to act as one in order to be successful. And if one person breaks down, it's going to affect the other 10. And we just had too many of those issues. Oh, man, I thought we were going to beat Josh's press conference yesterday. It was only 10 minutes. I thought maybe I was going to get that too.
Would you still like to get some game reps for a younger quarterback, or is just at this point in the year, it's Brady's show out there?
You know what? I'm really focused on this game and this opportunity, and if the opportunity presents itself for us to get another quarterback in a situation that we're in control of, we would do that. But I'm not making that plan for this game. And I thought, I hear the same thing y'all hear. I'm not deaf out there. I only have one headset on, so I can hear everybody else give me ideas. But the reality of it is in the fourth quarter, our quarterback played well enough to get us back into the game and have a lead. Doesn't excuse the things that occurred before that have to improve. But he still gives us our best chance moving forward, and he's going to continue to grow and get better, as well as the guys behind him. They're all still getting their reps, and when their opportunity comes, they'll be ready.
You mentioned Brady improving in the fourth quarter this past week. What were some of the things after watching the tape that he did differently that really helped him produce 2 drives and touchdowns?
Well, we completed the pass to Mekhi Miller. You know, and the bad thing is the quarterback gets a lot of the blame. You know, there were some protection issues, specifically the first play of the second half, that broke down on us, put us behind the chains. There was a ball location issue on the second drive, and then the third drive and there was a route issue on the second drive too that prevented us from getting an explosive play. But you know, we got some completions, we got some confidence. You know, on that last drive that we scored on, you know, we hit an explosive play to Luther down the sideline. We executed on a very long third down between Barrett and Brady. You know, those two things combined really gave us the opportunity to score on that last drive. I thought he had his best throw on the 2-point conversion. Obviously, his run on the quarterback scramble was all big plays. We just got to put it together sooner.
You mentioned the protection issues there and then some false start penalties. Similarly, the quarterback question, have you considered any changes along the offensive line?
We will make some changes this week on the offensive line due to injury, and those will be worked out during practice starting today and seeing where that goes. But, you know, we're in a unique situation where our right tackle started the season at right guard, and we've lost 2 starting right tackles. And so we're still, you know, working through. And it's sad for EJ because EJ was really playing well, his best game so far in that first quarter before he got dinged up. But that's football, and so now we're working on our 6th combination of offensive line.
I know you said he'll be out for a while. Is that, at this point, are you anticipating the season, or do you know that yet?
Don't know that yet. I anticipate the rest of this week, and we'll evaluate it depending on how long our season is.
This is kind of going backwards, but we didn't ask about it Saturday, and I've been asked about it a lot. The 3rd and 1 on Kentucky, did you consider challenging that?
I did.
I mean, what's that like? Because it's not like the NFL where you can throw a flag necessarily.
Yeah, so the way the challenge process works in college football is there was 2 spots that I considered challenging, both the drop punt that we took off running, and I felt like Jack reached the ball to the first down marker but then was marked a full yard short, and then obviously on that 3rd and 1. You know, so what happens on those things is you tell the official, hey, I want to challenge that. They tell you they're looking at it, they don't have an angle, blah, blah, blah. So they kind of give you the feedback if you can, but it's going to be a wasted challenge because they're already looking at it. And so that's what happens. There's been a couple of times where I've used a challenge, but it was really just to give us a breather or a timeout anyway or stop the clock. But there was not an angle that was definitive to say one way or the other.
Coach, what have you liked about how Brady's handled things this season? Obviously, you mentioned before people love to talk about the backup quarterbacks, right? You know, how have you liked how he's handled everything and kind of leader of this team?
Yeah, you know, Brady's displayed a lot of toughness, both mental and physical, throughout the season, and that's a trait that everybody can get behind. You know, obviously the results are not what anybody has wanted or anticipated, and we all have our struggles in our accountabilities for those, and I think he's taken ownership of the things that he can take ownership for, and he's trying to do the very best he can in a hard situation. And when you're not performing the way everybody wants you to perform, everybody wants somebody else and somebody different, and sometimes it's just a growth process, and sometimes it's a lot of different combinations. But I've been proud of the way he's led and not flinched and keeps going back up, and he gives us everything we got.
What are some things Hendon Hooker does well, and what are some things y'all have to do to kind of contain whatever that may be?
Yeah, I think Hendon's really developed tremendously as both a passer, and then he uses his athleticism and speed as like his B button. You know, he doesn't rely on it; he utilizes it as an extra benefit. He's a very strong and physical runner. The first guy very rarely tackles him, and so you know we got to do a great job of getting into the thigh boards and to bring him down. If you hit him high or go low, he steps on you or over you because he's so long. So it's a real challenge. He's a good player.
Is there still any chance Tyron White gets back this season?
There's not.
Coach, you said Jalen High might be the best receiver in
Well, I think he's got 51 catches. He's obviously got great vertical speed. He creates explosive plays, and they utilize him in great schemes. So I think it's a combination of his speed, route running, and catch making ability.
I know Cody has shown plenty of durability and willingness to carry the ball however many times you need it. Would you like, or do you feel like you have the ability to split up any of those carries with anybody else, or is it 90% his show at this point, do you think?
No, that's something that we've got to continue to explore and practice and get people reps, and we got to trust that when we put other running backs in the game, they know what to do, they know how to protect, and they're going to take care of the football. And that's that position is more than just hand the ball to them and they run, especially as complex as offenses have become. They're invaluable in protection, which we are getting blitzed quite a bit, and they do have to understand playing without the ball in their hands. Obviously we had several drops at the running back position on checkdowns that we've got to clean up. We've got to get more out of our run game, whether that's blocking or creating yards. So all of those things are on the table. We are trying to, I do want to see how Nate and Elijah respond in practice this week and see if those guys can provide us some more depth. I do think Cody's given us all he's got, but I felt like last game for the first time we played him too much.
Anything else for Coach?
Last thing, I'd like to say happy birthday to my mother, Susie Drinkwitz. I'm not going to tell you how old she is, but happy birthday, Mom. Love you.